What's next for India's Chandrayaan-3 lunar mission? The first landing mission near the lunar South Pole is expected to continue until sundown on the moon in 2 weeks. The South Pole of the moon has welcomed its first guest. Despite numerous craters and trenches marking the area, India's Chandrayaan-3 robotic spacecraft made a smooth landing yesterday, August 23, at a relatively flat landing spot in the middle of the crater, Manzinus C and Simpalius Na, located about 70 degrees from the moon. South Pole. The spacecraft's propulsion, a boxy module that sent the Chandrayaan-3 lander explorer duo into close orbit around the moon and separated from it before landing, continues to do the job. Around its closest neighbor to Earth, the module is equipped with a unique scientific instrument named SHAPE Spectral Polarization Measurement of Habitable Planets on Earth, which studies Earth from lunar orbit, which is in fact simulating observations of a distant exoplanet. However, most of the world's attention is focused on the surface of the moon. According to the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, shortly after the Vikram lander landed on the moon, it established contact with the Mission Control Center in Bangalore, India, and the space agency announced last night on X, formerly Twitter, that the Pragyan rover managed to exit the lander via a short ramp and walk on the moon. This means the rover has successfully deployed its own small solar panels to help it move forward. It has 2 spectrometers on board to study the composition of lunar soil near the landing site. ISRO previously said that although the rover is equipped with cameras to avoid obstacles, its movements will always be tracked to the point that it moves with difficulty within the field of view of the Vikram lander's cameras. According to ISRO, Vikram also activated 3 of the 4 science experiments on board today, August 24. One particularly interesting device is the heat detector, which will probe the ground at shallow depths for the first time and measure its temperature, among other features. The second Vikram instrument will study a thin layer of the moon's atmosphere called the ionosphere, which is filled with electrons and ions formed mainly by solar radiation. Scientists say the probe will help determine if the ionosphere is still dense or if its density changes over time and sunlight conditions. The third experiment is a seismometer that will detect earthquakes near the landing site, while the fourth payload is a passive NASA laser reflector array to understand the dynamics of the lunar system. If the mission is successful, what does it mean for India? Expectation and excitement are high in India for the planned landing, with prayers being held at temples, mosques, and churches, schools gathering students to watch. Live broadcasts of the event and space enthusiasts throw parties to celebrate. A successful mission would make India the 4th country to successfully land on the moon, after the former Soviet Union, the United States, and China, and mark the country's emergence as a space power. Before the national election next year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government is also looking to increase investment in private space launches and satellite-related businesses. India wants its private space companies to increase their share of the global satellite launch market 5-fold over the next decade. At the launch of the lunar mission, Mr. Modi said ISRO was writing a new chapter in India's space adventure and upending the dreams and ambitions of every Indian. Scientists are looking forward to gathering as much scientific data as possible over the next 2 weeks, as neither the lander nor the rover are designed to endure a harsh night on the moon when temperatures are hot. Polar regions drop to -382 degrees F, -230 degrees CE or less. So, when darkness engulfed the Vikram lander and Pragyan rover after sunset, it wouldn't be surprising if they were kept a secret.